Hello and welcome everyone. It is time for Jim Comics top picks for New Comic Book Day this upcoming Wednesday, July 31st, 2019. This week is going to be a big one, folks, so get your wallets ready. We've got a ton of good stuff coming, which we'll cover shortly. As usual, I'll run through what I'm looking at, give you my top covers, top picks. I got a bunch of other books to talk about. Stuff that's been optioned, just tons of stuff to talk about. So we'll get into it in a second. I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube, followers on Instagram. I know a lot of you follow me on both or watch my videos and follow me, whatever. But I really appreciate all the comments and info and tips and everything else. You're all awesome, so thank you so much. And normally about now I would do my comic shop shout out, but I was talking to Nick from Key Collector Comics today. And if you haven't tried out his app, there's an image on the screen. He's giving everybody, if you're interested, a free 1-week trial of his app. You just type in the code jimcomics and you'll get full access to the app for a week. He's done the same thing with Comic Tom, so he's probably not going to like me telling you this, but what I would do is put in my code for a week, and when that runs out, put in Comic Tom's for a week, so you get 2 free weeks. Isn't that, that's what I would do. I know Nick's going to love me telling you that, but hey, give it a shot. It is a really good app. There's a ton of good info on there. It's nowhere near as good as my videos, but, next to my videos, it's probably the next best thing out there. Nick and I have this rivalry going. It's pretty funny, so I'm always giving him shit, and he's giving me shit, so it's awesome. But it is a really good app, and with that promo code, you do get full access, and there's a ton of info, so it is really good. So I would recommend giving it a shot if you haven't tried it out. So anyways, that's kind of my shout-out today is to the Key Collector Comics app. Anyways, I got to talk about, in the background, I got all my Thor comics here, and I talked to these back in January. Thor #1, you got Thor #8 where her identity is revealed. That's a really good one if you can find that sitting around in the back issue. You've been picking that one up because that's a key one. You kind of get your first cameo of her in Thor God of Thunder #25. Like I say, I showed all these back in January, but to me, and then I know there's a Deadpool Hawkeye #0 or Hawkeye Deadpool #0 where you get, there's a Halloween scene and somebody's dressed up as her, and I don't know. I know there's a lot of people. There's a lot of arguing going back and forth right now about is that the first appearance of Jane Foster's Thor? Is it not? I mean, hey, whatever. If you want it, you collect it. I'm not. I mean, if I find that for a decent price, I'll get it, but I'm not going to run out and buy it. To me, to be quite honest, your first appearance of Jane Foster's Thor is What If #10, which I got in the background here. Even though she calls herself Thordis in that, I mean, you've got her right on the cover and throughout the whole book, dressed as Thor, wielding the hammer. So, I mean, I don't know what else you have to say about that. If you're going to buy one, this is the one I would personally would hunt down as a first appearance. This Thor #1 is another really good one because it is, it's her on the cover and it's her her first title basically of her as Thor. So that is a really good one as well, along with Thor God of Thunder 25 and #8, like I mentioned. But I got this one just this reason I'm bringing this up is I got this just a couple days ago. I went to a little toy store I go to out here, and he brings in books every once in a while. People drop off comics, and he had this, and I got that. I also got another copy of Adventure into Fear #19, which is your first appearance of Howard the Duck. And I got Swamp Thing #5 from back in the 70s. Another Bernie Wrightson. Some more of his artwork. Man, he was good. He was so good. I got a whole bunch of Atlas Comics #1, Iron Jaw, and a whole bunch of those. I can't remember where I put them, to be honest with you right now, but I got all those. I got a whole bunch of other stuff, but screaming deal. This guy had no idea what he's selling me, so I don't even want to tell you what I paid for it because it's ridiculous cheap, and it's a high-grade copy. It's in really nice shape. It's better than the one I had before, which is on the right. Like, this thing is really nice. It's one of those thicker books, and it's in really good shape and really nice colors, too, so I was so happy to get that. I'm going to show you a few books I picked up this week before I get into what's coming out next week. I talked about Blade Runner in my last video, and I picked up a couple of the covers I didn't have for #1 because like I was saying, I really suspect this one is you're going to hear about something in the next year or so about them making on HBO Max. Just my gut feeling, but hey, that's what I got. I got a bunch of copies of that one. Picked up my Batman Curse of the White Knight, Sean Murphy. Boy, I love this. His artwork is good. I like his writing, and I'm really looking forward to this series because there's going to be some good stuff popping up in there. Picked up my Marvel Comics Presents number 6, a second copy, or second print, I should say, just the regular cover. I didn't get the one for $25, even though it's going crazy in price. I wasn't going to pay what people were asking for it. I got the first print, so I'm happy with that. I got a couple copies of Valkyrie, which is Jane Foster now as Valkyrie. So is she gonna switch to this, or not switch to this, but are they gonna start doing a movie with her as Thor going into, leading to her becoming Valkyrie? I don't know. Find out. Wouldn't surprise me the way stuff is going right now. Got my copy of Miss Marvel number 5, homage to Secret Wars number 8. And I highly suspect Miss Marvel is going to be in the next Captain Marvel movie. So we'll see. But Kamala Khan, that Marvel Now .1, I talked about that one quite a while ago. But anyways, and this book, House of X, I have to show this one. Man, this was really... initially, when I first saw this a few months back, I think I mentioned this in my last video, I wasn't even going to get this one. I'm like, it doesn't even... Because X-Men has been just... Man, it's been so bad for the last few years. Haven't been following it, and they've rebooted it a few times, and it looks like they finally, got somebody who knows what they're doing with the X-Men and are doing it. It's a really good story. I had to read it a couple times because there's a lot going on in here. Got a ton of first appearances. The artwork is really good. And I'm looking so forward to Powers of X, which comes out this week, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But I highly suggest you get this. If you haven't got this one, yeah, you definitely want to pick it up. It is really good. And that one, I think, is going to go somewhere. So I haven't said that about X-Men in a long, long time. I haven't bought an X. I'm going to buy every issue of this House of X, Power X coming out, because if it's as good as number 1, I'm going to keep going with it. So... Anyways, we'll get into what I'm looking at this week. I started my independents. Knights Temporal number 1 by Cullen Bunn. Got 3 covers for this one. This one looks really good. It's from Aftershock Comics. It sounds like a medieval knight kind of ends up in modern times and is on this adventure and everything, but it's kind of a really cool looking book, and the story sounds really good too, so definitely picking that one up. Recommend that one if you can get it. From Albatross, you got the Goon number 5 out this week, and as usual, you got kind of your regular price cover A, and then heavier cardstock cover B. This week, the cover B looks really nice, and it looks like there's a new character called Dapper. He's a crime boss. Kind of reminds me of the Kingpin in a way. He's on the cover of cover B, so I'm definitely getting both of those. I get both of those every time, and that one looks really good, so I'm definitely getting that. From Dark Horse, Manor Black number 1, 2 covers for this one, and boy, I can't recommend this one enough. As you all know, Dark Horse, or Netflix signed that agreement with Dark Horse, first look at all their books and everything, and this one's got kind of it's really promising, and the story sounds really cool, so I'm definitely getting that one. So that is it from Dark Horse. From IDW, Canto number 2 is out this week. You got a regular cover, and then you've got a 1 for 10. As you all know, every copy of issue number 1 that I saw or heard, anyways, everybody was saying were all damaged. So hopefully they've rectified that for issue number 2. But it's a pretty good story. The artwork's good in it, so I'll keep going with that one. Another one from IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 96. I did not get 95. I'm not a huge Ninja Turtles fan. I'm just recommending it for all of you out there. Just letting you know it's out this week, because you'll probably find more about, I can't even remember what her name is. It becomes that new Ninja Turtle and stuff. So there's 3 covers for that one if that's something you're interested in. From Image, finally we got Ice Cream Man back, number 13. They seem to do they'll do like, I think it's 6 issues and then they take a break. So anyways, they got a new story arc starting with this one. 2 covers for this. I like cover B better than cover A, but really, I love that series. It's really good. And that one has been made into show, as you know. So definitely picking that up. Spawn 299, 3 covers for this one. Usual regular cover A, a Virgin cover B, and then the black and white cover C. And you are going to get your first appearance of the Rapture in this. and that's your you know, heaven's answer to the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse kind of thing. So they are showing up in this issue. I highly recommend this. And it sounds like over the next few issues, you're going to get a whole bunch of first appearances and some changes coming. You're going to get a she-Spawn showing up and everything else. So, yeah, stick with Spawn for a bit. It looks really good. Last one from Image is Walking Dead 193, the second print. If you weren't able to get the first print, the second print is out this week. The cover looks almost identical, except it has second print under the number in the top left. So just so you know, when if you're ever looking to buy a first print, make sure you're buying a first print, not a second print. From Scout Comics, we got Gut Ghost #1. Just the one cover for that one. It sounds kind of like a cool story. I'm not even sure if my shop I'll be bringing that in, so I'll have to see, but that looks kind of interesting. And also Red Winter #1. It's kind of a crime story set in Russia. It sounds pretty violent and pretty cool, so I'm gonna look into that one. That sounds like a cool story. And that's it for Independence. From DC, I only got 2 books from DC. I got Batman Last Night on Earth. #2 is out. The first book was really good. I was way better than I thought it was going to be. And cover A is a really nice Greg Capullo cover. I showed this one before. It's really black, or it's a black cover with kind of a creepy guy on the back of Bane. It just looks wicked. And then cover B is, yeah, it's okay, but I like cover A way better. And Batman Who Laughs #7 is out. 2 covers for that one. And cover B is a really nice Finch cover. And the interesting thing is with this was supposed to end at issue 6, and then they added in another issue. And this leads right into that Batman Superman series, which starts up next month. And there's going to be a new Secret 6 that show up. So likely you're going to get a glimpse of them at the end of this Batman Who Laughs #7. It wouldn't surprise me if you get like a cameo or a splash page or something at the back, but definitely worth picking up. If you haven't been picking up Batman, it's been pretty good, so definitely grabbing that because that looks really good. That's it from DC, just those 2 titles this week. There's not a ton out there. They're really cutting back on the number of titles they're putting out. So from Marvel, Avengers 22, 2 covers for that. You got cover A, and then cover B, and just be advised that this one, Avengers 22, is your last one of those carnageized covers, you know, where you get the red. So there will be the kind of the hidden variant or whatever for Avengers 22 with the Carnage symbiote in the title. So look for that if you're interested in that. And this is the beginning of that story arc challenge of the Ghost Riders. And this will lead into the Ghost Riders comic that comes out in October. So definitely picking this up because that looks really good. Conan the Barbarian #8. Man, this is the only Conan. I didn't like the Savage Sword of Conan. I didn't buy that at all. I bought the first issue, I should say. But Conan Barbarian is really good. 3 covers for this one. Regular cover A, another really nice cover. Cover B is a really cool carnageized cover. It's really, really nice. And I can't remember if I got an image for cover C. If you see it on the screen, you'll know. But there is a cover C for that as well. Fantastic Four #12, 2 covers for that. Esad Ribic is doing the cover A. I really like it. Some people don't like it, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's the Thing and Immortal Hulk fighting, and anytime you get that on a cover, it's kind of a classic cover. And the interesting thing is that at the end of this book, you've got a Saga of the Future Foundation. It's a backup story, and because they're going to be relaunching the Future Foundation in a bit, so I'd recommend getting this book just for that. And Hickman, by the way, is the one who created the Future Foundation. He's the one doing the House of X and Powers of X and stuff, so kind of interesting that everything popping up Hickman right now, but anyways. Marvel Comics Presents #7 is out this week. I think we learned the name of Wolverine's daughter in this one. We all kind of know what her name is, Rienne, but likely that'll be revealed in print anyways in this book. So 2 covers for that. Definitely picking that up. Powers of X, just talking about Hickman and the House of X a little while ago. This looks really good, and I think from what I understand, there's a whole bunch of first appearances in this. You had a bunch of first appearances in House of X #1, and there's going to be, I think, up to 6 first appearances in this Powers of X #1, so definitely get this one on your list this week. Pick it up. The cover price is, what was it, $5.99? Yeah, it's $5.99 for those. But it is a heavier cardstock cover, which is nice. I'd rather pay a little bit more, and Marvel put out a decent cover instead of that shitty paper they're using. But it's a good story, good art, and there's going forward, this is important stuff coming, so definitely pick it up. Secret Warps, Iron Hammer #1. You got 2 covers for that one. That in every issue there's been new characters showing up, so definitely picking that up. The last one I'm getting this week is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #9. 2 covers for this one, and it sounds like there's a terrifying new villain that shows up in this, as well as you get the secret history of the rumor in this issue. So, and it's a nice looking cover too, actually, surprisingly. But yeah, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #9. That's the one I'm getting this week for sure. So my top covers, I don't have a ton for you, but the ones I really like is our Batman Last Night on Earth #2, cover A, Greg Capullo cover. It's a black cover. As you know, black covers are hard to keep in really nice shape. So when you're at your shop, try to pick out a nice one. It's but it is usually it's a little heavier cardstock, so those ones tend to be fare a little better than your regular Marvel crappy paper. So that looks really good. Conan #8, cover B, that Carnageized Conan. This looks really cool, so definitely picking that up. I mentioned the Goon #5, cover B. Again, that's a little pricier because that is using heavier cardstock, but it's got the Dapper right on the cover, and I really like the Goon, so I'm definitely picking that one up. And then the last cover I got that I like is Avengers 22. It's like another one of those Carnage covers, and it's kind of cool looking, so that's what I'm getting. My picks for you this week, in no particular order, Manor Black #1 from Dark Horse looks really good. Definitely getting that one. Batman Who Laughs #7, because I think you're going to get, it's the end of that miniseries, and I think you're going to get your first appearance of the Secret Six in this one, so try to get that one. For all you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, #96 is out this week. So that's, I'm not necessarily going to get it, but I know a lot of you are liking that book, and it's pretty hot. 95 anyways was. Spawn $2.99. You've got your first full appearance of first appearance I should say of the Rapture, God's answer to the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Powers of X #1, really good story. I'm actually really surprised how much I enjoyed that first House of X #1. Artwork is stunning. The writing is really good, and a ton of first appearances. Sounds like you're getting in this issue, so pick that one up. And last one is Knight's Temporal #1. That looks that's from Aftershock. That looks really good as well. So a couple more books I want to talk about. If you've been following my channel for quite a while, a lot of these will look familiar. I talked about She Could Fly way back. Geez, I think that came out almost a year ago. Exactly, it was July of last year anyways. I mentioned that this would be a really good one to pick up, and that one just got optioned. So I hope you're able to get that one. I just want to show you, print run on that was pretty low. It was only about 7,300, so there's not a ton of them out there. That's from Comic Ron, and you know what, you got to take those numbers with a grain of salt. Sometimes they're a little higher, so I would usually round them up a bit. So I would say it's probably roughly about 8,000, but I mean 8,000 is super low for that. So if you got that, hang on to it. That is a good one for sure. And by now I'm sure you heard that Farmhand has been optioned and picked up, and that's a cool story. That print run was roughly 27,000, so not super high. It's a good one to get if you can get it. You know, it's sat at cover price up until about a week ago, and now it's like a $25 book. So I hope you got it when it came out. As you can see, I picked up 3 copies. That's usually what I do, pick up 2 or 3 copies of anything I think has any potential. Another really good one is Riptide #1. This came out August of last year, and the print run was just over 1,000 on this one. It's a super low print run. This is the first print. There is also a second print as well. It's the same kind of image, but they made it look like a poster. It's kind of how they do their second prints. And then I know I've showed this one a few times. It was Riptide #2 with the sharks and the guy on the jet ski. Man, that scares the shit out of me every time I look at it. But #1, and you know what's funny? When this came out, I remember I had it in my hand. There was 2 copies sitting there. I picked up one. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that. It looks interesting." And the owner said, "Oh, do you want to get the other one?" I'm like, no. And I put it back down. Damn it, I've been kicking myself. As soon as I got home, I called them. I said, "Oh, is it still there?" And I know somebody else bought it. So But hey, I got one anyways. It's first print, and it's super, super low print run. It sounds like that's going to be made into a movie. It's in kind of in the final stages of negotiation. So if you can find that cheap, I'd recommend picking it up. It's a really good one. And a couple of books I want to talk about just briefly. Batman Beyond 37 that comes out in a little bit. It sounds like there's a new Batwoman that shows up in that. So that's one you're going to want to kind of keep on your radar when that comes out. And also, there's a couple facsimile editions coming out. You got Amazing Fantasy 15. You know, and that's the closest I'm going to probably get to that, because that is to me is my grail. If boy, I'm still trying to find that at a swap meet stuffed, you know, an old encyclopedia cover or something for $1. But hey, whatever. You never know. So yeah, I'm definitely picking that one up, because that, you know, as you all know, first appearance of Spider-Man. And then also they're doing the facsimile of Incredible Hulk #1, the original Incredible Hulk #1. So definitely going to get both. Those both come out in October, so that looks definitely getting those. Boy, I said definitely a lot today. Anyways, folks, take care. That's all I got for you this week. There's a ton of stuff coming out, a ton of good stuff coming out this week. So much good stuff coming out. And I just got to close, you know, with this Jane Foster. I've said a few times, the stuff coming out now is going to be on the big screen way sooner than you think. And this just came out in 2014. So, I mean, as you can all do the math, it's only 5 years. It's not taking long now for books to, when they come out, you know, on the shelf and before they make it on the big screen. And don't be surprised, Marvel is rebooting the X-Men. They're going to be completely rebooted. It's going to be new actors, I mean, let's be honest here, the last few X-Men movies haven't been that great. Logan was great, but they haven't been all that great. Dark Phoenix was absolutely terrible. So don't be surprised if you see some of the stuff that's coming out right now on the big screen in the next few years. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Anyways, take care, everyone. Happy hunting. Talk to you later week. Bye for now.